Hey, Dr. Eric here. Welcome to my YouTube neighborhood, the channel where we talk about one mindset tip and one body set tip, not only to take with you outside this video, but also later in life as well. Today we're going to be talking about the concept of what is health-seeking behavior. So let's jump in. We've all heard of risk-taking behavior. These are the people that we know who do extreme things. Maybe they are quick to make a snap decision, whether it's a good decision or a bad decision, or a late night decision with a phone that starts with a phone call. These are the people that go cliff diving. These are the people that do drive fast cars, fast motorcycles. They're also your skydivers. Maybe they imbibe in extracurricular activities, things like that. Right? We all know the type. So those are examples of what we call risk-taking behavior. What we're talking about here is health-seeking behavior, so there's a big difference. Health-seeking behavior is a concept that I stumbled upon a few months ago, and it really stuck with me because it's a term that I think really kind of addresses what a lot of us are trying to do in our world. So people who do health-seeking behavior, what they're essentially looking to do is they're looking to continue to make themselves a better version of themselves. So for example, if you're someone who's not getting enough sleep, you're going to make it a goal to get more sleep. If you're someone who's now aware of their nutrition and it's not where you want it to be, or perhaps you have some sort of event where you need to look a certain way or you need to feel a certain way in terms of recovery or some sort of gut health, you're going to take the steps so that you can get there by that achievable date. So the mindset tip that we want to talk about today is we want you to start to look through a health lens, right? So we don't want to overly complicate this, but what I want you to do is I want you to go throughout a couple of days of your current work environment, your lifestyle environment, your home environment, and the friends you hang out with, and see what kind of health behaviors you're currently addressing, right? Do you start off the day, for example, by drinking a cup of coffee, or do you start by drinking a cup of water? What kind of breakfast are you having? Do you skip breakfast completely, or are you having something that's nutritious, that makes you feel good throughout the day, as opposed to being hungry like 20 minutes later? How are you at lunch? Do you have energy levels that are low and you start to feel like you're crashing? Do you become irritable? Are you leaning on sweets and caffeinated beverages to kind of help peak you through that next part of the day before you get home and have a meal? What kind of meal are you having? Is this something that you've prepared yourself? Is it store-bought? And if it's store-bought, did it come from the freezer section? Because we all know where that can go. Dessert, are you a big dessert person? Are you someone who passes up dessert because you had a nourishing dinner and you don't feel like you need a dessert? Or are you someone who always has that sweet tooth? We all know too that eating late, for example, before going to bed can really affect our sleep. So even if you've done everything perfectly, still eating late before you go to bed can become a problem for your recovery leading into the following day. So these are all basic concepts in terms of mindset that we can look at just in terms of looking at our entire day from sunrise to sunset in terms of what it is that we're doing. Continuing on with the mindset, there are three things that we want to look at. We want to look at accountability, we want to look at attention, and we also want to give it some concentration. So what that means is we don't want to just kind of pick a random starting place and just kind of go with it, give it up after a couple of days and then switch to something else. What you don't want to do is you don't want to start leaving results on the table, because if you do, then that's when we really start to poke holes in this wonderful thing that we're trying to recreate, which is that health-seeking behavior. What I like to have people do is I like to have them pick one particular area where they feel like it's the easiest jumping in point. So it's not randomized, this is set by design. So if you're somebody who, for example, needs to get more sleep, has a terrible work life and or home life, you're eating like crap, and you're not getting any form of exercise, out of those four that we just named, which are the easiest to control? So for most people, I say, let's start with basic. Can we get an extra hour of sleep, right? Or, for example, if we look at nutrition, are you drinking enough water? We're not talking about macros, we're not talking about pre-prepared portion meals, we're not talking about 3 meals a day versus 5 meals a day, we're talking about just regular water. Look at what you're drinking during the day, and if you're falling short, then that's when we can start to increase the water. We want to pick a nice entry point that has a low-hanging fruit, so that once you achieve that goal, then we can kind of raise the bar, and then we can raise the bar and raise the bar. For example, we don't want to pick a goal that's way too high, because we know that you're starting pretty much at the start line and you want to get to the end of the race as fast as possible. The problem with that is that's what sets us up for frustration and failure, because we don't get it on the first try. So we say, what is the point? So the point is, let's choose something nice and let's choose something easy. So for our Bodyset tip, let's add in a little bit of exercise. You know, a 30-minute walk whenever you can fit it in throughout your day, or 2 15-minute walks to kind of break up your day. Not only gets you up out of your work chair, or it helps to kind of get the blood flow moving, but it also gives you a point where you can actually dedicate that time to really kind of plan what it is that you want to get out of your life and what it is you want to get out of your body. So to recap, what we don't want to do is we don't want to leave results on the table. We want to give ourselves some accountability, some attention, and some concentration. We want to pick the low-hanging fruit, and we want to add in a little bit of exercise. So there you go, we hit all the key points today. Don't forget, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can leave them in the comment box below. And as always, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. We always love it when we get new visitors, welcoming you to our YouTube neighborhood. And as always, stay healthy.